Happy New Year, everybody! We are today the 1st of January 2025. I pray that you have spent it wisely with your loved ones and that you have made new godly choices to begin this new year afresh. I wish you to receive more revelations from the Lord, transformations. I pray that you desire in your heart more and more to draw closer to Him and be conformed to His image above anything else, that you make peace with everyone that you need to make peace with, to forgive, let go, and start afresh. What is behind is finished. It is past. It is dead. It is gone. Now we're looking forward to walking with Jesus step by step in a new year. I'm sure filled with many, many new blessings. And so we start again in our devotional of Oswald Chamber, January 1st. Let us keep to the point. In Philippians chapter 1, verse 20. My earnest expectation and hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ will be magnified in my body, whether by life or by death. My utmost for His highest, my earnest expectation and hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed. We will all feel very much ashamed if we do not yield to Jesus the areas of our lives He has asked us to yield to Him. It's as if Paul were saying, my determined purpose is to be my utmost for His highest, my best for His glory. It's always to keep in mind, who am I to please all the time? What do I want to hear my beloved Father say to me? I want to hear Him say, this is my daughter in whom I'm well pleased. Not because I've accomplished any miracles or led many people to Him or laid hands on the sick and they recovered. Not because I cast out demons or fed hundreds of homeless people and so on. No, pleased because I denied myself. Because I intentionally, carefully, meticulously always said, am I honoring my Father right now? Am I saying the right things to this person? Am I continuously listening to His voice, speaking, guiding me in all things? Obedience, surrender, denying myself. This is what Jesus did all His life that He was here. He showed us the way. This is the way, my friends, the way to freedom. Giving up our self-will. As long as we hold on to our ways, we're going to suffer. We're going to have difficulty. We're going to face the walls. It's about surrendering, letting go, total dependence on God. Come back to the branch in the tree. Don't think that you can produce anything by yourself. Make this year a year of total dependence on God. If anything, don't think about anything else. Try to say, okay, this year, I'm going to renounce wanting to do it my way. Try it. Try it for one day and see what happens. So, to reach that level of determination is a matter of the will, not of debate or of reasoning. It is absolute and irrevocable surrender to the will at that point. An undue amount of thought and consideration for ourselves is what keeps us from making that decision, although we cover it up with the pretense that it is others we are considering. When we think seriously about what it will cost others if we obey the call of Jesus, we tell God He doesn't know what our obedience will mean. Keep to the point. He does know. He does know. He knows everything. Shout out every other thought and keep yourself before God in this one thing only. My utmost for His highest. I'm determined to be absolutely and entirely for Him and Him alone. Okay? Determine, decide. It's a matter of the will. You choose to do it. You choose to walk in the freedom of His Spirit. You choose to put Him first in your life above anyone and everything else. You're confronted with a loved one that asks you to do something, but you know that it's contrary to the will of God. Are you still going to do it because you don't want to hurt this person? Be careful. Then you're not giving your utmost for His highest. You're compromising. You're compromising. You're putting that person above God. God will handle this person. And you can tell this person, I'm sorry. What you're asking me to do is contrary to my faith. I cannot accept what you're asking me to do. I'm sorry. If that person gets offended, so be it. But you don't want to offend the Father. You don't want to grieve Him. Okay? My unstoppable determination for His holiness. Whether it means life or death, it makes no difference. Paul was determined that nothing would stop him from doing exactly what God wanted. But before we choose to follow God's will, a crisis must develop in our lives. This happens because we tend to be unresponsive to God's gentler nudges. Of course, He tries to warn us. He tries to give us hints. You're not going the right way. But we don't listen. We don't pay attention. It's to develop this sensitivity. And that's why it's important to consult Him in everything. Lord, am I walking in the way You want me to walk right now? Am I thinking the way You want me to think? Help me. Fill me with Your Spirit that I may always walk in obedience. I don't want to do anything that will displease You. It's your willingness. It's your willingness that God looks at. He looks at how much you love Him and you want to please Him. Then He will give you the power. He will give you the grace to overcome whatever it is. What loving father would not do that for his child? Have this attitude in you. So, but before we choose to follow God's will, a crisis must develop in our lives. This happens because we tend to be unresponsive to God's gentler nudges. He brings us to the place where He asks us to be our utmost for Him, and we begin to debate. He then providentially produces a crisis where we have to decide for or against. That moment becomes a great crossroads in our lives. If a crisis has come to you on any front, surrender your will to Jesus absolutely and irrevocably. That's how God sees where you're at in your relationship with Him. He will produce a crisis in your life. I'm confronted with this right now, but I have to give Him my utmost. I have to behave in a way that will honor Him. This is what He's expecting of us. Not resistance. Not why is this happening to me, Lord? Why did you bring this in my life? No. Okay? I surrender. You brought this in my life. You have to recognize and be aware that anything and everything that happens in your life is God's will. He will send you difficult people, financial crisis, sickness in the body. He will allow these things. Not that He wants us to suffer, but if it's necessary for us in order to grow more in Him, He has to do it. It's His way of disciplining us. But we can avoid these circumstances if we continuously walk in the light, if we continuously seek His guidance. He will do these things when He sees that we're derailing, that we're going more towards our own will. I want to do it my way. I know how to do it. No, He says, crucified. That I has been crucified. You need to die to that I. And let me have total hold of your life. Not 20%, 50%, not even 99%. I want 100% of the guidance in your life. So I hope that you will begin this year by saying, I will give my utmost for His highest in every situation. God bless you all, my friends, and let's run this new race together for this brand new year to come. See you soon.